to kick off this incredible session of the Deep Parenting League and Carnival of Hope Season 6, brought to you by Deep Parenting. Today, we are diving into a theme that lies at the very heart of what we do: personality and parenting. Understanding your child, nurturing their unique self. Every child comes into this world with their own unique blueprint. And today, we're going to explore how we can truly decode that blueprint to parent with more intention and love. So, get ready for an evening packed with deep insights, inspiration, and fresh perspectives. So, let's welcome our speaker for the day, Ms. Suman Joseph. With over a decade of experience in education, she holds a diploma in education leadership from IIT Kharagpur and is certified parenting coach, psychometric analyst, and DMIT specialist. Her vision is simple but bold. Every child is born a genius. Her mission to empower parents to decode their child's true blueprint, personality, multiple intelligences, and natural learning style. So parents, so parents can nurture that genius in kids' own zone on kids' own terms. She is also a distinguished Toastmaster, the highest honor awarded by Toastmasters International, a global authority in communication and leadership. It is an absolute honor to me to have her expertise with us today. Ms. Joseph, I now invite you to take over the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Neeta, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I know there are people from different parts of the global world, and this may not be that right time. You may be winding up your work or you are just waking up and trying for your breakfast, but we are all here. So nice to see you here, and welcome to the session. I just have two conditions before we begin. One is this is Carnival of Hope. So let's enjoy to the maximum. Maybe the topic is slightly tough, emotional, but still we will try to enjoy maximum and we will interact as much as possible. So if everybody can chat whenever possible with a yes, no, maybe, that would be awesome. Is that okay? All right, all right. I see Meghna, yes. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So begin with, as all sessions start, we are trying to explore why they are the way they are. We are trying to see why children are like this. So to start with, hope you can understand what I mean by this. What is that image for? Can anyone pick?
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker, yes. Because I am new to you, you are new to me. Let's break the ice. And for that, now we are dealing with Gen Z kids, and they all talk in terms of emojis. They communicate with emojis, most of them which we don't understand. But let's try. Right now, what is your mood? Maybe you have just woken up, or you have completed your work just now, or about to complete your work. What mood you are in right now? Explain me with two emojis, just two emojis in the chat box. Quick, quick, come on, let's see. Devangna, very excited. Excited to the core, wonderful. Neeta is also excited, he is smiling. I really don't know how to decode. Somebody, yes. Polami is like calm, quiet, composed. Vaishali is smiling. What mood you are in right now? Few more, few more. Quick, quick. Somebody is smiling a lot. Sandhya is smiling. Oh, Kruti is slightly sleepy. That's fine. That's fine. My child is not listening to me. Okay. Okay. All right. So, all right. So, majority of us are excited. Now, another question. Once I get first 10 answers, we will move on. The second question is, if you could automate one part of thing, you have a huge task list, office, home, that, bills, children. If you could automate one part of it, what would that be? Can I have some quick answers? Really, really quick. Cooking, yes. Wonderful answer, Anita. Mona, cleaning. Oh my God, I really don't love that. I would go for automation. Teaching, Tasmia, tough job, but AI is waiting for you. Job, somebody doesn't want to do the job at all. Work, cleaning. Yes, yes. House chores. Oh my God, don't talk about cleaning wins finally. Meditation, somebody. Devagana doesn't want to do meditation. If somebody can automate the meditation for her, she would be the happiest. Driving, oh my God, so sad, Jyoti ma'am. You are looking for automated car, but soon you will have them. You just sit, they will take you to your school. All right, so that makes us come to another activity just to make sure that we are all right here. Find the imposter in this. Who is the imposter? I know, yes, everybody can easily find out. Now, another one, just 3 seconds, okay? Just 3 seconds, find the imposter. Dun, dun, dun. Who is the imposter in this one? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, first one goes
Fourth,
Meghna Saxena. Oh, sorry,
fourth
Megha.
last, yeah.
Meghna is one close friend of mine, so I keep calling her name. Megha. So, round of applause and lots of love to Megha and everybody who has answered. So, now we are all in this room. Even though our mind was wandering around, now we are in the same pace. To start with, is this webinar right for you? It is right for you if you are a parent. And when I say parent, we mean not just the biological parent who are responsible for caregiving, guiding, nurturing, building the future of a child. Who feels responsible? I am responsible for. They are all coming under this category of parent. So grandparents, biological parents, to a certain extent, if it is a parentified child, he takes care of the siblings, younger siblings. He can also be considered as a parent. They can attend. So only parent and child? No, not really. Everybody else. If you have a tough boss and you wonder, how much ever I try, this boss, oh my God. Or you have 40 students in the class, only 3, just 3 makes your life miserable. Or husband and wife, as always. And to that matter, any relationship, friend, and you doubt why I am giving my 100%, why I don't get a response, then this webinar is right for you. However, because it is deep and we deal with parenting the more, our discussion will be more to child parenting connections and all that, but you can easily replace it with any other emotions as well. So here is an important question. How many parents here have repeated the same instruction 10 times, many times, and still your child behaves as if they heard nothing? Anybody? Yes, Mandagini. I raise my hand also. Anybody? Yes, 2 hands. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. There are so many feel the same. How about this? Have you ever felt, I am genuinely trying my best as a parent, giving my 100%. Then, why is my child still pulling away from me? Anybody feels that way? Test me up. Anybody feels that? I am giving my 100%. Nandini, Mandagini. Yes. Yes. That is why, and you want to get an answer, and that is why we are all here. Let's try to explore what can be the answer. And this one, how many of you are familiar with this? You don't get it, mom. You don't get me. You don't understand me ever. Maybe a silent voice or a shouting, but they say the same. You don't understand me. Familiar? Yes. Yes. This is the scenario. When we go a little more deeper, we can even have complexities like everything is the same. Same parents, siblings of the same family, same surroundings, same playground, same type of play, and the parent is correcting. But see the response. She is happy. She says, yes, you're right, mom. I would do that next time. I'm happy that you told me. But what about this one? He just burst out. He says, I didn't do that. I didn't mean to do so. And a lot of trauma. The third one, either he silently stares at you or shouts at you saying that you're always like this, always finding fault with me. You always find faults with me. Same condition, same parenting, same kind of corrections, but different, totally different responses. All this makes parenting little overwhelming. This is a personal anecdote, an interesting one. We have something called retreat in Christian communities. We gather somewhere, usually in a prayer hall, and they teach us, they make us pray, they help us to do the confession. And family retreat is something like you attend with the family. The good part of that is for those 3 days, they will take care of the children. Children will have separate session. We don't have to worry. We can sit, pray, listen to the only when it is time to bed, they will come. Early morning, you wake up, dress up, and send them to their set. They will have sessions there. So overall, it's a good setup. Of course, you get benefited. You feel relaxed, calm, and all that. That is when one day, it's the second day of retreat, and my son is sleeping. The latest time we can enter the prayer hall is 6:30. People go even from 5 o'clock, they meditate in front of the sacrament and all that. But 6:30 is the maximum time we can be late because the Holy Mass will begin. And my son is still sleeping. So I just went to the next room and I saw no sign of people there. So I understood, okay, they have gone for the retreat hall, only we are pending. I called my son, pulled up him from the bed and said, Juan, it's late. We are getting late. See, the auntie and the children have already gone from the other room. Somehow I pulled him from the bed, made him take bath and come back. Then when we closed that room and came out, understood that auntie and children were still sleeping. I misunderstood in a hurry that they already left. For that whole day, my handsome son, 6th grader, kept on telling me that, Amma, you lied to me. You lied to me. For first few minutes, I didn't even understand what was that. He was saying, I lied that the other people, the auntie and the family are already left. That was a lie according to me. Like this, and that day was a hell. Whenever he sees me in the break, you lied to me. That's not fair. You should not have done this. Every time. So several examples like this. As a mother of two, the alpha and the omega, the extreme ends, and as an educator over a decade, I came to know that all children are different. They are all genius. all children are born genius if we nurture them properly. And that is how I associated with deep, and this is how I proceed with Edu Parenting Hub. Now comes that silent damage parent does not notice. The problem is we sometimes unknowingly damage a child's confidence by genuinely trying to help them. We are trying to help, but it results in damage. Several examples are there. Let's take only one. A strong willed child is constantly labeled disobedient. Your intention is to teach him obedience, but he is an open minded person, an independent person. So, this can damage the child. What if? What if your child is not lazy? You are telling others that my child is lazy, or others are telling you that your child is lazy. What if he is overwhelmed? Or what if your child is not disrespectful as such? He is an independent minded soul. What if your parenting style is not matching with the personality? So we all come across this myth often. That's a
Dance Australia. Smiley is equal. Smiley is equal. Where good can be?
that is a myth. We believe that all children receive love, connection, motivation, and the pressure the same way. That is one of the biggest myth in parenting. The same thing is given to her. She is happy. Why not you? Why not you? Is a myth. You cannot expect both of them to be happy for the same thing or same reason. So here is a rapid fire question. Rapid fire is you cannot think, analyze, get the best answer and night. No, you have to just type in what bad parenting damages children to. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's right, Sandhya. Thanks for that. Now, the question is, when I ask a question, what comes to your mind first? Immediately type it in. Okay? Don't think, analyze. Agreed? Okay. Here comes the first question. Your child talks back. What is your first reaction? Anger. Shubha. Yes. Next. Sad. You feel sad. I feel sad too. Irritation. Yes. Sabatini. Absolutely. How can he? Why? Yes. Yes. Helpless. Andrea. Yes. What about this? The child cries easily. What is your first reaction? You also feel sad. You worry. What is happening? Why is she like this? You feel tensed. Nandini, sad. Yes, yes. Pushpa, sensitive. Craving attention. You understand that she's craving attention.
सॉरी मेरा ध्यान ही नहीं था वाइब्रेट मेरा खाना खाने बैठा तो
Please stay on mute, everybody.
भाग दौड़ में था
So, just by looking at the chat screen, we can understand this 70 of us has 70 different type of reaction to the same trigger. The trigger is child is crying easily. I just stare at my daughter and she cries. Then I may feel angry, I may feel sad, I may get irritated, I get tensed. Oh my God. I may get worried how she is going to be in the life. If she is so sensitive, I get tensed, worried. So just see this. For the same trigger, when you actually can have different type of reactions. Why can't different children have different reactions? It's as simple as that. Some of the questions I am just skipping. The reason is every child is wired differently. No two child in your family are the same. So here is the Guru Mantra. Are you ready to hear that Guru Mantra? All right. The Guru Mantra is, your child does not need a perfect parent. Stop being that perfect parent, or stop being to be that perfect parent. All they need is somebody who understand the way they are. So your first step starts with this. Understand who they are, the way they are. Because of that, one parenting style is not fitting every child. It is the reverse of what we just did. If you say the sentence, maybe we can try this. We can try this also. If you say this sentence to your child is your own child, or your sister's child, or your grandchild, whatever child. Why did you score better? If you ask this, what would be the reply of your child? Can we have 5 answers? First 5 answers. Is my question clear? You are asking, why didn't you score better? What answer do you get from your child? I am happy. Yes, you are never satisfied. It's your fault. You are never satisfied. I tried my best, but teacher is strict. Yes, a very common answer. Forget mommy. They will say, who cares? We'll keep, yes. Or keep silent. Silence. I worked hard, but I don't know. Slightly disheartened. The reason is teacher hates me. Teacher hates me just because of that I lost. She tries to argue. Very rarely you will hear an answer which Pushpa said, not prepared well, mom. I didn't prepare well this time. Next time I'll do. Most of the time we will hear Sandhya's answer, paper was tough. So same child will answer different way. That shows how each child is different. And this is kind of, again, slightly interesting activity. Instead of the child, if it is you and your boss is asking you the same, or telling you the same, why are you so slow? What would you feel? For an elder person like you, a matured individual, a working professional, your boss is asking, why are you so slow? What do you feel? You feel humiliated? Yes. What do others feel? First 5 answers. Disappointed. You tried everything. You insulted. Bad. Yes. Yes, I am right. But he is saying so. I have done my best. You feel annoyed. Exactly. So, when you don't ask the way your child would understand and connect, these are the feelings the child will also go through. They may feel annoyed, they may feel insulted, they may feel humiliated, and sometimes they may feel, I am anyway right, and this mommy or daddy is always like this. So the Guru Mantra is, decode your child before you discipline. Decode your child before you discipline. Every parent on earth would love to discipline their child. But how many of them actually know who they are, who their children are? So the Guru Mantra is, decode your child before you discipline. And now, how? How we can decode them? For that, you decode yourself. The easiest way is, which parent are you becoming under stress? When you are under stress, what do you do usually? Do you cry? You get upset? You get angry? You even throw things? I don't know whether people do that, but there are people doing that as stress relief. What do you do when you are under stress is how you decode yourself. That gives you an idea of what blueprint you have. But what I am going to explain for next another 10 minutes is not anything that somebody I got it directly from God or something. It is all over around us. It's there. We already know it. But this session is just an eye opener. If you have not noticed it, even though it was around, but if you have not noticed it, or you have noticed it but you have not tried it, let's just try it. So it's absolutely not a gyan received from above. It is simple, little bit of theory, but let's try to concentrate and see. When I explain this, try to relate with yourself and your children. So it starts with personality. I am avoiding the questions just to save some time. So what is personality? I have a personality, you have a personality, she has a personality. What is that? So it is the different style of thinking, feeling. How do you act to a situation? How do you feel when a situation arises? And what do you think? A sum of all this together gives the personality. And we usually say there are 4 P's for the personalities. So it is like 4 P's: power seeking, praise seeking, process seeking, and peace seeking. Somebody may be too much into seeking praise. Somebody may be too much into seeking power. The other may be too much into process and peace. So if I elaborate on this and tell you each of the personality types, you can just try. Is it me? Or is it my son? Or is it my daughter? Or is it my third son? Whatever. So let's start. So that dominant people, the power-seeking people, they are stimulated when there is a challenge. They seem to be blunt, stubborn, and who usually lose that big picture because they are just wanting to finish off that task quickly without looking the big picture. And they are naturally the achievers. They achieve things. So the characteristics are, they are fast-paced, decisive, impatient, seek control, goal-oriented, competitive. Whatever happens, I want it is I want it. I want the report to be on my table by 10 o'clock means I want it by 10 o'clock. It doesn't mean that you are sick. Doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. That kind of power. That is dominant type of personality. And a very good example that Manish sir used to give is my favorite example. 10 of you are going to a hotel and you are planning to have your best dinner ever. Then that one person who says the paneer butter masala in this hotel is the best item available here. Then you say, I came to have a ghee roast. But the other person again says, ghee roast you can have from anywhere. Anand Bhavan, Arya Bhavan, any Bhavan you go. But this here you should not miss paneer butter masala. It is paneer butter masala. And after some time, you will see that all 10 of you are sitting and having paneer butter masala. That is the best example of a dominant personality. It's not that he is not so good, he is not caring about others. Not like that. But he is naturally have a feeling that I should help people. I know this is good and I should make others also feel the same. Genuinely good intention, definitely annoying for many of us. So that is the dominant personality. Now you can think about, don't type in the chat box, don't say your mother-in-law or father-in-law is like that. Don't say that in the chat box, but you can think about it. Who is that dominant person in your family? Now, praise. Somebody who love to talk. When they are in this group, they become the center. They crack jokes. Everybody laugh at them. Sorry, don't laugh at them. Laugh for their jokes. No time control. No, we say bill and break. They don't have bill and break. They just chit chat, laugh, smile. Very optimistic. Those kind of people. Attention seeking kind of people. Very social. slightly dramatic and all that. Then comes peace. Those who seek peace, they are very people oriented. If you are a boss and if you are a peace seeker, I would say your employees are the luckiest. If they say, sir, I am so sick, my son is also sick, my wife is also sick, then he will say, okay, take 2 days leave, submit the report, then. Because they care for the person a lot. Then process. For me, this is slightly complicated because they always work with logics, mathematics. This is this. Very data oriented. 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock for them. When we say class starts at 9, he rushes and makes sure he reaches at 9. If the class did not start at 9 and it starts at 9, he will so upset that somebody died. He feels so upset. Class was at 9:05, but she's at 9, making a mess out of that simple thing. For others it is simple, but for him it's a big deal. So if you have a girlfriend who is compliant, type of process oriented, and you come 10 minutes, 15 minutes late, you can imagine what would happen. So it's not her mistake, it's not your mistake, it's how the mistake is how you did not interpret her personality type. But the good part is they're very good in problem solving. They analyze everything. If you remember my retreat story and my son calling me liar, can anyone guess what type of personality my son would have been? My son is? He kept on calling me liar. I lied.
Process.
Process, absolutely. Andrea, awesome. She is so quick. And the answer is correct. She is. Yes, Neeta, that's right. It is process oriented. So if I am compliant, yes, absolutely. If you have a child like that, it's kind of like you should keep up all your words. Even this is that child. Imagine they got 97.8 marks. 97.8. When you talk to the neighbor, you say, he got around 98, he got 98. Then he will come rushing to you and say 97.8. That kind of. So these are the different type. Just to understand it better, we have a DISC, D-I-S-C, DISC. Dominant, influential, steady, compliant. These pictures also help us understanding the eagle is always dominant, influential, as beautiful as butterfly, as showy as butterfly. So, peacock, Then steady, the peace-loving dove. The owl, always rolling the eyes and looking what's happening. So these are the 4 personalities that a child might have and how you are compatible with each other is the key to have better relationships. So quickly, the DISC, D-I-S-C, D is the one who says, get things done. I wins the heart. S keeps the pace. And C, get it right. They cannot compromise on anything. So quickly, can you find out the influences I in this? First 5 in the chat box. Who are the I? Modi ji. Yes, Modi ji is I. Andrea, you rock. Few more answers, please. SRK. Absolutely. SRK is that ultimate influencer. Yes. Only two. Yes. Only two. 2 of them are I. Now let's find out what type of personality is Obama. Do you think what type of personality is Obama? Steady, good guess. So let's just pick. And what about A.R. Rahman. Yes. A.R. Rahman, I am sure nobody will have any different opinion. Yes. Steady. Andrea. Yes. Renukai. Vaishali. Yes. Mandakini. 100%. No other question, no other answer. It is steady personality. So this is how people differ. A.R. Rahman is steady. No other steady people. Barack Obama is I. And it changes. Amir Khan, yeah, he is too much into details. Too much into details. So that kind of. Now the key is how do you interact with them? So we have 4 parent personality, we have 4 child personality type, and all the combinations discussing here is impossible. It's going to be overwhelming and annoying, but we will discuss samples. You can think about what is your personality, what is your child's personality, and what works best for them. And if we meet again for some reasons and we have a 2-3 days workshop, we can sit and discuss everything, or one-on-one we can sit and discuss what is your child type, what is your type, and what do you do. But this is just to get you that insight. Okay, this is what happens. So the example that I have taken is a dominant parent and a compliant child, and you are pushing them for a quick action. Do that fast, do that fast, do that fast. The child emotionally feels, no, I need time. I have to process. I have to analyze. My algorithm, my flowchart should be proper. So if you keep on telling them, do fast, do fast, do fast, for a C child, a compliant child, he will feel disconnected from you. Rather, you give time to process and respond. Same way, if you are very directly saying, hey, what you done is wrong, is this how you do it? Then that is your nature. You are a dominant parent. You automatically say so. The child, if he is C, he feels like, I am failing again. That affects his confidence. So you correct gently and specifically. You specifically say what went wrong. See, what happened was you lost 3 minutes searching for your shoe. That is the only reason you are late. Otherwise, you were all perfect. You woke up on time, you brushed, you took bath, everything was awesome. The only thing that we missed was we did not arrange the shoes yesterday. When we say this, you feel connected to your child feel connected to you. So this is how we can bring that connection. Maybe we can discuss one more scenario. Steady type, peace loving, the dove. Coming home, you can see she is upset and quietly says, I'm fine. What would be the answer of a parent who is dominant? What do you think a dominant parent will ask a child who is a steady child, comes home upset but silent and quietly says, I'm fine. Anybody would like questions? Yes, Tasmia, that's right. Yes. I need answers. Speak to me clearly. What happened? Tell me. This kind of questions is what they are going to ask. If it is an influential parent, what would they ask? Influential, showy parent. Oh my god, yeah, that's absolutely right, Tasmia. Oh my sweetheart, what happened, baby? Blah blah blah. Oh my child, absolutely. Come on, let's not be sad. Let's enjoy. It's Coca-Cola party time. Maybe they say that. What about a compliant parent? That processed parent. The parent is process oriented, compliant. Then yes. Exactly. This is that perfect answer. Tell me in detail what happened. Start from the beginning. Step by step, explain me. One by one. Absolutely. One by one. Start from the classroom. You entered the classroom. Start from there. What happened? What happened? This is how they are going to ask. So, but the child is a S-type. It's a DAO. So instead of asking all these questions, you should reframe. He want emotionally, when a dominant parent asks, what happened? Speak clearly. He feels emotionally unsafe. And he is afraid to express the emotion. Instead, take your time. I am here, okay? When you are ready, let's talk. Then the child feels emotionally protected and he will speak. For an I parent, he doesn't want that excitement in the first place. All they need is that emotional understanding. So you can simply say, I'm listening. Or you can say, do you want to talk it now or later? And for a C parent, I'm sorry you have gone through that. You don't have to explain everything. You yourself know your nature is to ask everything. So you are telling that ahead. You don't have to explain everything. Not now, later, whenever you are feeling good. So that makes them feel their feeling is acknowledged before the solutions are given. So this is for an S child. But all these questions and responses and why changes if the child is D, if the child is I, if the child is C. But getting to know this helps us decode our child and discipline better. Yeah, this was a recent incident. It was my daughter's. This is my beautiful daughter, Caroline, her birthday, and she is a dominant type. She chose who is going to come for her party. Only her besties. And all these are no hierarchy, like aunt should be invited, uncle should be invited, uncle's first son should be invited. No, nothing. Just her choice. And we allowed. And what happened was we had a blast. Everything went well. But the problem was here. Next day, his uncle was staying with us, and coming back from karate class, my elder one and the uncle went to somewhere. Can you guess what shop is that? Any wild guesses? It's Avil milk. There is a shop with, they give this very yummy milkshakes. So they went there, had food, came back. Nobody knew. I didn't knew. My daughter didn't knew. Later, when he sent me the photos, I came to know, but I didn't bother to tell my daughter. After 1 month, right on May 15th, like 2-3 days before, somehow she was going through our chat and found out that this has happened. She got really angry and she calls her uncle by name, Sanjay, and Sanjay, what do you think? See, we can also have milkshake. Nothing wrong in that. How can you go, both of you, without taking meat at this? Then Sanjay replied, uncle replied, it was back from karate. Juan did not had lunch. He was very hungry. That is why we went there. Then next person to act was me. How can he be not having lunch? I only served the lunch. How can he say that he did not have lunch? So, if you just look at this small conversation, you can see all different type of personalities there. Dominant girl worried about why she was not invited, why she was not included. The compliant me worried about how can they say I did not serve lunch? I do everything properly. I serve lunch on time and he had taken the lunch. How can he? Then that poor uncle saying, trying to save the peacemaker, the dove, the steady personality, saying he was hungry, that is why I took. So in a small scenario, we can see all this different type of personality. So how to cope up with this is using a simple formula. First is stop asking why your child is like that. Instead, ask what kind of child I have. For that, you understand their personality type. Second is parent that personality, not the behavior. And third is adapt. This is where you need to have a little bit of effort from your side. You may be a dominant one, but adapt to a communication style which matches with your child's personality. And fourth is build that emotional safety. Once this emotional safety is built, everything is becoming easy. Saying that, I don't say I have a one stop solution. This is the solution. You apply and all your problems with your child. No, I am not saying that this is a one stop solution. The reason is when I say I am dominant or compliant, it doesn't mean that 100% of me is like that. I still have a steady personality of certain age. I still have that influential personality of certain percentage. It's a mix, one thing. Second is, maybe you would have heard of this book, Jonathan Haidt's The Anxious Generation. He is talking about how the great rewiring of childhood has impacted the children. After the pandemic, when the screen became so much easily available for the children, a great rewiring has happened. And the children we are dealing with are already an anxious generation. Whether you make them anxious or not, they are already an anxious generation. They are comparing themselves with people around the globe, not just your family, your surroundings. No, that time is gone. So again, that makes the situation even more complex. And what environment? You have a natural personality, but what type of environment you are surrounded with, that counts. And again, the last thing is you have a personality, but the way you react to everything is not that way. In the sense, for certain things you react certain way, for certain other things you react other way. I can tell you it better with this example. For example, you are asking your child to study and you are using the communication style and all that according to his personality. So that there can be three things. When you are asking a child to study, one type of child, even without asking, they will study. You may be lucky enough to have such children. They come home, they do the homework, they read through the lessons, everything, classes. Maybe they sit with a mobile for some time, go to bed, you don't have to worry. That is one. But for the same child, if you ask, you go to the dance class, they may not do that. So doing something by themselves. Second child is, they need that perfect environment. Make them sit on their study table with beautiful light, everything is properly aligned, a glass of water ready, then they study. Third is, you always need that tuition teacher behind you, then only they will study. But that child will take initiative to go for a football match. He will set up the team, everything he will do by himself. So this is what we call the different pattern. For different, I'm again saying, there is no child does everything by himself. Certain things he will do by himself. Certain things he need the perfect surroundings. For certain things, he always need a mentor to push. So knowing this also is important. So the solution that we have is take a psychometric test, and DMIT will help. So psychometric will help you what type of. This is my nephew's one. He is a steady down, and he has these personality traits. His goals will be like this, and if we have people like this surrounded with him, that will help. If we have somebody who is reacting quickly to unexpected change, it's better you have a person like that in your life for a steady personality. So you get all this. Then you also come to know which activities he will take initiative by himself, which you have to give a slight environment ready, which one you will have to always push. So this is what. And where do you get it? There are deep coaches everywhere. They can help you. I learned all this from deep. Now, here comes another sad thing. This example is also from Manish sir. He once asked, if you know something and if you don't apply, you are exactly like this. You know what is causing the trouble. You have gained enough wisdom, but if you are not applying, you are like this farmer holding the plow and walking around doing all the hard work, not applying. The plow has to be on the soil, dig and do the work, but you are just keeping it on your shoulder. So the knowledge which you don't apply is exactly like this. So I wish you take some action, some massive action, and get that connection reset. So now I am back to my question. If, with all these things discussed, if I still have the same question back to you, you are saying that you are repeating the instruction several times, but your child behaves as if you don't hear. It's not. It's absolutely not because of bad children or bad parents. It is because two good people, two good souls are speaking two different emotional languages. Don't worry, not your child is bad, not you are bad. It's just that two good people are speaking two different emotional languages. And can we fix it? Yes, it can be fixed. So, a dominant child may hear the repeated instruction as control. He's controlling me, controlling me. And an influential child may stop listening when that connection is missing. And a steady child, shut. When he is overwhelmed, he just shut out, silent, complete silence, no response. And that compliant child may resist when they don't understand the reason behind it. Because of that, you do this, baby, that would be good for you. They will listen. For a dominant child, give 2-3 options. Think about it. We have this. Which one do you think better? You understand, right? That is not better. That is why I'm telling you, go for the third option. You give choices and make them responsible. They will listen to you. So instead of commanding constantly, give them choices and responsible if your child is dominant. And influential, always look for that connection. So some warmth, little bit of humor, a touch, appreciation, all that they will love to have. So when you have that, the children will emotionally connect to you. And the steady people, don't push them hard. Slow down, give them time, speak gently. And of course, the compliant, give them the process. Because of this, we have to do this, and that is why that kind of flow chart, if you give, they would be happy. So finally, all I wanted to tell you is, when you understand the personality, you stop fighting your child's nature and you start building their future. Was that too much?
Thank you, Suman ma'am, for bringing such a vibrant smile and an incredible surge of energy that completely lit up the room, and we all were hooked from start to the end. And
Yes.
before I open the floor for the queries, just a quick announcement. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., we'll be having Udan, our career-oriented session, where we will again be diving deep into an essential stream guidance. So be there. And tonight, log in at 8 for reflection on two wonderful book summaries by Miss Shubha Shashidhar and by Miss Nidhi. And now, for the audience, if you have any queries, you can please ask Miss Sumam. You can put it in the chat box or unmute yourself.
Yes, I would love to hear your feedback. And if the session was like too much of information with this, I would end the session with just one simple note. If anything doesn't work out, just try this. Appreciate your child. For whatever silly reasons you see, just appreciate. Start with that, the connection will automatically start building up. Just maybe as silly as I just noticed recently my 15-year-old, he smiles very beautifully, and I said, your smile is so good, and he was like blushing, and after several weeks he was telling, you told me I smile very beautifully. So even 15 years old can, that kind of simple appreciation definitely matters for them. So if you forget everything what we discussed today, that's fine. Just keep this with you when you leave the room. Appreciate for everything, every small tiny act. Now, thank you so much, Shubha ma'am, Prakriti ma'am, Nantini, Sandhya. Thank you so much, Pushpa, Megha. Thank you so much. If there is any genuine feedback, like where should I improve, I would love to hear that also. Thank you, Shirley ma'am. Thank you. And I think we
Sumam,
have 3
can I,
minutes. Yeah.
Sumam, can I ask one question?
Yes, please.
If the child always feel that every appreciation is fake, how will we handle that?
Every appreciation is fake.
Yes, but criticism they take it too personal, but appreciation they think it's fake. Then how will we deal with that?
Is it like a general comment he says, or to some specific people he feels so? Is it like when teachers appreciate it's fake, or is it like every time?
Friends, when friends appreciate, it's okay, but when parents, maybe they are just encouraging. That is how they feel.
Maybe we will have to look back and see where this started at some point of time. Maybe because of, I really don't know what the exact scenario is, but maybe because of comparison or something, it would have struck in her mind that this is all fake. Genuinely, they don't want to tell me this. They are just trying to console me. We have to actually find out where this actually started from. And when you appreciate, never give that sandwich method. You appreciate and then immediately you give the correction. No. Appreciation is appreciation. Correction is different. There you use your sandwich method. But if you are appreciating, you wholeheartedly appreciate that you specifically. When you smile with, when you look at me and smile with this head slightly tilted, that is amazing. Then they understand, okay, this is a genuine appreciation.
Okay, so I'm already understood the reason, because all appreciation follow with a suggestion or correction.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. That may be the reason. Yes.
Okay.
The personality chart. Yes, I would love to share that. Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, please.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You are.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Please continue. I think the voice is not reaching here.
Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Maybe our voice is not reaching her.
Yes.
And exactly.
So as we
Network
are
bit.
running out of time, just maybe
Hello?
1 or 2 questions more. Anyone?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible.
Hello?
Oh, she's not able to hear.
Ask her to type.
Maybe she's on the phone.
Yeah.
Hello?
Okay. Any other question for the day? Maybe we can take the last question. So all are set.
I'm not audible, ma'am.
You are audible. Our voice is not reaching you, maybe.
No, now this it is reaching.
Okay,
Can
please go
I
ahead.
can I say something?
Yoda. I think we lost her.
Yeah.
Oh, network problem maybe.
So I think we shall wrap up this evening.
Yeah,
And thank you.
3861.
Thank you for
Yeah,
the
thank you so
audience.
much,
Thank you to
everyone,
the
for your
audience
time.
as well for investing your heart and time for this wonderful evening. And thank you once again, Suma ma'am, for this mesmerizing session. Thank you so much. And see you all at 8 in the evening for 2 book summaries, as I mentioned earlier. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.